Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans. I'm your host, Lindsay Stone. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, wherever you are tuning in from. Hi, Broadway besties. How are y'all? Oh, we have some things to discuss because where we left off last week, it was a tragic day, to be honest with you. It was the day before Joshua Boone's final bow over at The Outsiders, and now I'm bringing you that recap. So, wow. Honestly, it all happened so fast that it's time to sit and process everything. So let's do exactly that. Joshua Boone, to give you a little recap, he announced 3 days before his final bow that he would be leaving The Outsiders. So you can bet your bottom dollar we sprinted our little booties over to that rush line the following morning, and we rushed on Saturday. Saturday was a crazy day because the matinee for The Outsiders was canceled. And thank God I got the evening performance. I could have gotten the matinee. There was no reason I would not have gotten the matinee. I just wanted what they had available, and they had evening available. So yeah, sure, I'm going to do evening. I can't even imagine. Literally, my heart goes out to those who got that matinee after rushing, because that's tragic. But I did hear that the people who got the matinee were first in line. They got first pick of the rush the next day. I don't know how they facilitated that logistically, but that's what I heard. So good for them. At least if they were still in New York and still available to see the show, they had the opportunity. That's really nice that they did that for those people. But going into Josh's final performance, it was crazy because the matinee was canceled because there was a power outage at the Jacobs Theater. And whenever we got to the theater, the entire street was blocked off, and there were these huge, what looked like generator trucks and emergency generator vehicles lining the street. And a lot of wires and cords were running into the theater. And that entire street right now is empty because Suffs is not there. The Notebook is not there. The Roommate is not there. So the only show playing on that street is The Outsiders. And so it was totally empty except for everybody trying to get into The Outsiders. They started the show, I think 20 to 30 minutes later. We were in the line getting into the theater at 7:53. Show started at 8, and Melody wasn't even ready on her live. She was still I don't even think she had a wig on yet. So it was a little crazy of a day. Definitely not your typical night on Broadway, especially being that it was Joshua Boone's second to last performance. So thank God he was on, first of all. We were a little concerned because we did have quite a few understudies. Let me tell you. So for the most part, we had the OBC. We had Brody Grant as Ponyboy. We had Sky as Johnny. We had Brent as Daryl. And we had Jason as Soda and Emma as Cherry. But we didn't have Daryl Tofa as Two-Bit. We had the new understudy for Two-Bit and Dallas Winston, who is Aramy Payton. And let me just give him credit where credit is due. I loved his performance. I really thought he was beautiful. And I believe it was his debut as Two-Bit. And yeah, no, it for sure was, because they did the little celebratory thing on top of the tire at the end of the bows where they all just celebrate that person and throw gravel at them and whatever. His voice was so beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Seaweed and Hairspray, which is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Just beautiful runs and just so much depth to his voice. But I think he was beautiful as Two-Bit, first of all. And I could see him doing really, really well as Dallas Winston, and bringing some more youth and, I don't know, I can't honestly, nothing is better than Joshua Boone, but I can see him being good as Dallas Winston, and just I can see it. Okay. And then what else do we have? Dan Barry was not in. Oh, R.I.P. Dan Barry. Wish you were in. But we had Victor as Paul. Oh, and Tilly wasn't in. So Milena was in for Ace. Who else? That might have been it, aside from the fact that we had a tremendous amount of, it's kind of funny how they separate out Bob and the cop. It shows Kevin William Paul is playing Bob, and then later on at the bottom it says cop Kevin William Paul. That's funny. But yeah, there were a ton of new ensemble members that I had never seen before. Of course, they were all fabulous. And that's kind of what I predicted. I was I think the ensemble is gonna be the quickest to turn over. And I think that the OBC is going to stay. But I don't know what's going on, because I made this post on TikTok and I was basically like, girlies, we need to be so grateful for the time that we're in that Jason Schmidt is on Broadway, because it is a matter of time until he's going to take the Renee Rapp trajectory and he is going to be one of the biggest pop icon star heartthrob kings in the pop music universe. Although his music's more like alternative. Anyways, he's so talented. And I just feel like he's going to explode because his music is so good. Side note, the Broadway besties over on the Patreon know I do this segment every single week called What Song You Should Add to Your Broadway Playlist. And I have a new song that I am obsessed with. It is on my rotation, absolutely nonstop. I cannot stop listening to it. It is the best song ever. So head on over to the Patreon if you want to figure that out. But that being said, a lot of people in the comments were like, yeah, Jason's not staying for very long. And I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that. One, I don't think it's good for his career. I could see it in two ways. I could see him being like, I have all of this momentum right now. I have all of these new fans. This is a great time to capitalize on that and go full into music and see what I can do there. Twofold, being on Broadway consistently, one, it's consistent work. Two, you're continuously expanding your fan base. You are like, your people know where to find you, yes, but you are new people are falling in love with him every single night. And so I think that and the role that he's in right now lends itself so well to becoming a pop star heartthrob. So I think he needs to stay sat, like stay at the Outsiders for another year, like put in the work. I know it probably is like killing him because he could go and pursue his dream of a musical career. But I really I'm curious, is that his end goal? What is his end goal? Does he want to be a Broadway boy forever? I don't know. But that's what I'm like, what are you doing? Like, Jason, do you want to stay on Broadway? Are you a Broadway boy? People have said, somebody commented something like, he's said that Broadway is not his place and he can't wait to go. I don't know if that's true. It was literally a TikTok comment. But anyways, I was surprised by what everybody was saying on that, because if I was his PR agent, I would say you need to stay at the Outsiders longer, because the way you are booming right now, it's because of the Outsiders. And why leave when you have a good thing? Leave eventually once your fan base is tripled, because it will. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. But back to Joshua Boone. So final performance, of course, his little brother absolutely shook me to my core when he's like, Johnny, can you see me now? And he screams. That shot straight to the heart. And he was amazing as always. And I was really happy. Honestly, one of my biggest takeaways is at the bows, I was so happy to see that he was dancing. He seemed in such good spirits and so happy. And I heard that on his final bow, he mentioned that his next film opportunity that they alluded to in his announcement that he was leaving, that started the following day. So it was boom, 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 not a minute to waste. And he had to leave the Outsiders then because he's going to do his film opportunity. So anyways, I can't wait to figure out what it is. And I was so grateful that I could go see one of his final performances, because his performance will just live in infamy for forever. One of the best Broadway performances I have absolutely ever seen, period. And yeah, Joshua Boone, I love you. I hope that he comes back to the Outsiders. Everybody's like, Lindsay's not coming back. And I'm like, never say never. You honestly never know. Aaron Tveit has come back 17 times at Moulin Rouge, and he's Aaron Tveit. So I think Joshua Boone can come back. Also, people come back to their shows. We talked about last week with Kimberly Kimbo. Little shorty, who we love, his name is not coming to me right now, but he's going back to Kimberly on tour. How random. That's not a huge opportunity for him, but it's cool that he's doing it because he loves that show. Joshua Boone obviously loves the show. I could see him coming back, period. I'm just sticking to it, okay? And then I'm going to tell you all, I told you so. So that's the tea with the Outsiders. Literally amazing. This show, when I see it, it just invigorates me again. No matter what, because I go and see it and I come up with 100 content ideas, a ton of things I want to do on the podcast, a ton of things to do with From the Mezzanine, because it's just I love this show and it motivates you, which is funny, But yeah, that's my experience. I have quite a few Broadway shows coming up that I'm really excited for. This month I am seeing Redwood. I am seeing Urinetown. I am seeing Romeo and Juliet next weekend. Oh, and BT Dubs, if you are going to be at BroadwayCon, your girl will be there again. I will be at BroadwayCon, so comment down below if you're going, and we can say hi. I'm excited about this Lin-Manuel Miranda talk back about All In, a Comedy About Love. That's what I'm really excited about. But otherwise, I haven't been paying, honestly, much attention to what's going on BroadwayCon. So I'm just going to be pleasantly surprised. Whatever I see, whatever I do, hey. I saw our queen Dariana Mullen, FTM favorite, is going to be doing a panel about Gatsby. So excited about that. But yeah, BroadwayCon, so fun, so cute. And that's coming up next week. So that's what I have coming up. Another thing coming up, but we'll get to it in the Broadway news. So let's get into our Broadway grosses, you guys. These have really been unstable lately. They have just been changing and changing and changing. So our top of the list is our steadfast favorite, Wicked, which, by the way, we don't have any Wicked news. And by the way, number 2 is making me scream and shout. Oh my God, Gypsy is number 2. Why did I not think Gypsy was going to be this successful? I knew it was going to be huge, but I kind of thought it was only going to really puncture through the theater community and not the masses. But with Gypsy being at 2 with $1.7 million, granted it is in a huge theater, the Majestic, but their capacity at the Majestic is 98% capacity. Whoa. Oh my God. I'm actually so surprised. Their average ticket price is $142. That is really freaking good, beating out The Lion King at number 3. I am so shook beyond belief, beating out Hamilton. 1.6 million for Hamilton. Holy cow. And then just below that is Sunset Boulevard. It is the age of revivals, people. Sunset Boulevard at $1.4 million. And then 5, we have All In, a Comedy About Love at also $1.4 million, but 100% capacity. I didn't get to see All In, a Comedy About Love. And honestly, I will go if I can find a ticket for $80. I'm not paying psychotic prices for this show. And granted, I do want to mention, because I've said multiple times on here that the reception to All In a Comedy About Love was really bad. And a lot of people are notifying me, hey, I actually genuinely enjoyed it. It was such a pleasant night. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Also, New Year's resolution that I'm speaking into is existence right now. I overuse so much, and I've got to stop doing that. So I am going to, for the rest of the episode, try my best not to say unless there's no other word that I can say. But as I've been editing clips, I see, I wanted to say, I'm no, I see that I use the word so much. And for that, I want to say sorry. Also, PSA, we are still working out this new podcasting setup. So I know visually it changes a bit week to week, but thank you for being patient and sticking around, because the Broadway besties, y'all are the real ones. Let's get back to the Broadway grosses. Okay, sorry for that little detour. But yeah, All In, I've been basically just trying to tell myself that it's not that good when it is apparently pretty good. So you should see it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I've in the past been really negative towards it because I am pissed off that I can't get tickets. Okay. So yeah, they're doing really, really well. 7, we have Death Becomes Her. I love to see all of these new musicals breaking through the top 10. I love it. MJ is 8, Aladdin is 9, and The Outsiders is 10. And just below that is The Great Gatsby at 11. So Gatsby is now for this week, and this is the week following Jeremy Jordan's departure. Well, actually, January 26th. Yeah, it is the week following. So this is with Ryan McCartan and Eva Noblezada still, and they only had 88% capacity. They're still doing so well. Hashtag not worried at all, but interesting to note that Ryan McCartan's poll is not as large as Jeremy Jordan's. Is that a shocker to anybody? No. But also, wait, there were some days that were only understudies. So this might account for that as well. So let's hold off on making any accusations towards Ryan McCartan's fan base, and let's give him grace and wait until next week and we'll actually see. But next week will be a spike because it will have Even Oblizada's last performance. So you know what? Let's just hold off judgment altogether. How about that? Okay, yeah, Cabaret is just next, doing pretty well. Hell's Kitchen has dipped a bit. They have 87% capacity. Hell's Kitchen is going to run for maybe another year, I would predict. Yeah, Romeo and Juliet's doing incredibly. They're grossing under $1 million, but they're at 101% capacity. So like, holy cow, this is just so crazy. And Moulin Rouge has dipped a lot. They're at 88% capacity, under $1 million. Maybe Happy Ending has 95% capacity. I'm so happy. Yeah, that's really great. And our lowest grossing musical, well, this doesn't count as Redwood, but they only had 2 performances, so we will check in with that next week. And our lowest grossing is A Wonderful World, which lends itself to the news stories this week, which we will get to. And second lowest grossing is Hadestown. Yikes, not great. So without further ado, let's get into our Broadway news because I am so excited about this story. Okay, you guys, I heard for the first time maybe 3 weeks ago that this was rumored to be occurring. And honestly, I was like, oh no. Honestly, I said, no. Honestly, I thought, this is going to be a learning, but I'm not going to say like, honestly, I thought it is too good to be true. Too good to be true because this pairing, our next Audrey and Seymour, is just so sublime that I, Lindsay Stone, have bought my psychotically priced tickets to Little Shop of Horrors on Broadway. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's crazy. It's so crazy. I've never, ever seen Little Shop of Horrors. Jeremy Jordan came. Sarah Hyland and Andrew Barth Feldman came. Who else? The list of people that have passed through. Oh, Corbin Bleu. Every single casting news we get, I think this will get me in. This will be the thing to get me in. I bought my freaking tickets for this one. You bet your bottom dollar. I'm so excited. Okay. Milo Manheim. Is that how you say his last name? I just call him Milo, but I really call him Zed because if you know zombies. Okay. And Elizabeth Gillies, who we love from Victorious, are going to be our next Audrey and Seymour. I'm actually freaking out. I cannot wait. I love Milo. I love Liz Gillies too. Love, 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 love. But Milo, have any of my listeners / watchers / Broadway besties seen Zombies? Because if you haven't, you've got to watch it because it genuinely is that bitch. It's so good. I love it so much. Oh, this is Zombie Land. Everybody dance. Okay, but the song I really love is, and I sing this with my little cousin. He is obsessed with Milo. He loves zombies. So that was my introduction. I don't hang around watching these like new Disney Channel original movies all the time. I promise I don't. That's not me. But my little cousin is obsessed with zombies. And years ago, probably right when it came out, I was babysitting him and we watched all of the zombies and it's so good. It is so cheesy. It is so cheesy. But the first Zombies, which is honestly the only one that I've ever really watched, is amazing. And the song that I love is A Girl and a Zombie. Oh, tell me more, boy. Sounds like a fantasy. Oh, what could go so wrong with a girl and a zombie? I love that song. Anyways, I'm so excited for this. And, rumors are just rumors, but there are context clues that we can parse together and realize this is so legit. First things first, Milo was in this production of Spring Awakening. No. American Idiot. It was the Deaf West's American Idiot. And I saw videos of it and I thought, this is a precursor to Broadway. This is absolutely, he's doing this because he's jumping into the Broadway space, okay? And then probably a week later, there was this funny video that went around of him at The Outsiders in the audience. Basically what happened is somebody was videoing Ponyboy walk up to the stage, but Milo thought that they were videoing him. So he like waves at the camera and the person like zooms in behind him to see Ponyboy. I know I said like, okay, anyways. But it was so cute and so funny. But that video popped off and I was like, oh, Okay, guys, you know what? I'm going to say like sometimes, but I'm going to try to stop sometimes too. Okay. But when that video popped off, I was like, Milo most certainly is coming to Broadway because he's seeing Broadway shows. And that is an indication that somebody is coming to Broadway. It honestly is. So anyways, TTT, that came true. And I love to see it. Liz Gillies, this is her like first time back to Broadway since being in 13 the musical with Ariana Grande. Of course, this isn't Broadway. I should stop saying that. Off Broadway, West Side Theater, Little Shop of Horrors. It feels like it's Broadway though, you know, because it's been around for so long, they get like way bigger than Broadway caliber actors to be in it. So huge deal. Definitely feels like Broadway. But yeah, Liz Gillies, so exciting. I have my tickets for, I think the second weekend. They were expensive. The cheapest ticket to see them right now is like $140. So yeah, it's a small theater. It's going to be an amazing experience. It's most certainly going to be worth it. And I don't regret my purchase whatsoever. But that does feel crazy because off Broadway should be less expensive than Broadway, but it ain't. And when was the last time I paid $140 for a ticket? I paid that for Merrily We Roll Along, starring Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff and Lindsay Mendez. I paid that for Moulin Rouge, amazing seats, front of the mezzanine, with Aaron Tveit and JoJo. And yeah, I paid that for Tick, Tick, Boom at the Kennedy Center with Gray Henson and Brandon Uranowitz. So it just feels a little silly that the least expensive ticket you can get for an off-Broadway production is that steep. But it is what it is. It's whatever. And it is only that price because of them. The tickets before they come to the show are like $60. So them arriving over to the West Side Theater doubles the price. Psycho, worth it. Don't care, love them. Next news story, you guys. Oh, this is sad. Whew, let's bring the tone down. Louis Armstrong, A Wonderful World is closing on Broadway. Is this a shock? Absolutely not. It has been at the bottom of the grosses week to week for quite a while. Why did it close? I think the Studio 54 theater is cursed, first of all. It is so far detached from Broadway that it doesn't feel like you're on Broadway anymore. Honestly, the theater sucks. I have only sat in the mezzanine and it was so tight. I haven't seen this musical past previews, and a lot of people were telling me that it improved quite a bit, which I thoroughly believe. I also saw the understudy for James Monroe Iglehart, but he was still really, really good. I did not enjoy this show. The show is definitely catering to an older demographic. There's no doubt about it. There were parts of the show that I did really enjoy, i.e. learning about Louis Armstrong's life. I love quite a lot of his music. His music is part of the fabric of American culture. And so anyways, I was excited to learn about his story. And the story really doesn't paint a good picture of Louis Armstrong. I thought he was this happy-go-lucky guy who, you know, reinvented jazz. And no, he's not the greatest guy. He slept with many women outside of his marriages, outside of his 4 marriages, I want to say. And he went to jail, and yeah. Not to say that him going to jail wasn't due to a sign of the times, being that racial injustice was rampant during the time of Louis Armstrong's reign over the jazz age, but which I think is probably the 50s. See, I should know those things considering I watched a 3-hour musical about it, but I don't. It just wasn't, it didn't have that. I left and I was exhausted. I should not leave a musical feeling exhausted. I should leave vibrant and full of life and excitement and motivation like The Outsiders makes me. It just makes me be like, ah, I love. Louis Armstrong makes me be like, whoa. You know? So not surprised that it's leaving, but it is sad. It's always sad when a show leaves, and they really did try. Their producers did give them time to find an audience, and they just didn't. So their final performance will be on February 23rd. We will see if they pick up in the grosses. There's definitely a chance of that. And I'm curious to see because I haven't heard a lot of people speaking about this show. Just word of mouth, you know? Nobody's been like, oh my God, have you seen Louis Armstrong? You gotta see it. So that's unfortunate. I will say, I took my parents and they did really like it. So at the time of its closing on February 23rd, the production will have played 151 performances and 31 previews. That's enough time to find an audience and be successful. Unfortunately, they never did that. Their producer said in a statement, quote, "It is with mixed emotions that we announce the closing of A Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong Musical. This has been a labor of love for our entire cast and creative team, and we are so proud to have brought this Louis Armstrong extraordinary life and legacy to Broadway." There is no mention of a national tour, which honestly, this could go on a national tour and do really well. I'm going to fact check myself live here real quick. I could without a doubt see it doing a very successful tour along the South. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think that they've announced a tour. And usually if they are wanting to go on a tour, they'll at least mention it in their closing statement when a Broadway show is closing their run. So yeah, I think it could. And potentially that would give them time to make back their investments and pay out their producers and not be a flop, which, by the way, at the flop conversation, I just want to address some things. When I say flop, I literally only mean it didn't recoup its investment. That's all I'm meaning. I'm not saying like this show sucked, it was a flop. I'm saying they didn't recoup their investment. Just previously in episodes, I'll mention like, oh, sad that it's going down as a flop. And people are like, oh, don't call it a flop. I'm like, well, it didn't recoup its investment. That's the definition of a flop, period. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, very sad. I'm sad for James Monroe Iglehart because he deserves better. But you know what? This man stays busy. So what will he be in next? Everybody's wondering. Everybody's asking. And I can't wait to figure out. What's next for James Monroe Iglehart? This man, I love him. He needs to always be on Broadway. He's one of the nicest people that I've ever met, by the way. If you were to ask me who are the nicest people you've ever met doing interviews, it would be James Monroe Iglehart. It would be Norm Lewis, J.J. Neiman. And that's not to say the people I'm not naming are nice. These are just the ones that, like, when I think about them, I'm like, my Shayla. My Shayla, I love you, my Shayla. Melody Rose, like everybody, honestly, everybody. But those are my queens right there. Who else? Shayna Taub was really nice. Everybody's nice. Everybody's nice. But my Shaylas, James Monroe Iglehart, Norm Lewis, J.J. Neiman. I love you, my Shaylas. Okay, next news story. I'm so excited about this, and I'm going to educate y'all on why you should be excited too. Because I have a feeling my younger audience, we may not be privy to what Take the Lead is, and I was not either, but I have listened and learned and watched the movie trailer. It is from 2006, this movie, Take the Lead. It is coming to Papermill Playhouse. It is the debut of this new musical, and you should be excited about it. One, because the cast is crazy. Two, because it is so choreography heavy, it is going to be a delight to our eyes visually. And I'm sure the music is amazing because when there's good choreography, there's got to be good music. So first of all, I'm going to tell y'all what the plot is. Take the Lead. Movie came out in 2006, starring Antonio Banderas. He is a dance teacher, a ballroom dance teacher, and he is substituting for the detention class. And so they're the rejects, they're the washed up kids who need help, and they're have hard home lives, you know the drill. So anyways, he's like, I'm going to teach you all ballroom dancing and it's going to help you. It's very like School of Rock coded, you know, not that those little children were rejects. However, you all know the vibe. Like, here comes this substitute and he's going to change these children's lives. And the kids, I mean, they're high schoolers, they're older. They are obviously against this at first, but then he shows them how cool ballroom dancing can be and how you get to be close to a woman and how it's so amazing. And then they're like, okay, yeah, let's all learn ballroom dance. And I'm sure by the end it's so happy and all of the kids find their purpose in life, I'm assuming. So that's the plot of the movie. The musical, however, I think is going to be very different because they've introduced a new character named Ariana that is being played by Achita, sister to friends for life, Adrienne Bailon. Adrienne Bailon at Papermill Playhouse? Leading the cast of Take the Lead? I'm so excited. So she is playing this new role, Ariana. She's not in the movie. I'm guessing maybe she is the teacher now, but we do still have the role of the teacher, and that is being played by Tam, my king, what is his name? Tam Mutu, who was the original Duke in Moulin Rouge. He is playing the ballroom dance teacher. But then it says Adrienne Bailon is playing this new character that's leading the cast. So I'm assuming maybe the roles have kind of switched and she's the leader of the ballroom dancing and he might just help her. That's my assumption. I don't know. Anyways, we got to talk about Adrienne Bailon coming to Broadway. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Coming to Papermill Playhouse. If you grew up on Cheetah Girls like I did, this is huge. Number one, because it is a show heavy on the choreography. If you watch the trailer, you will be like, this is so Cheetah Girls coded. Hi, nananita, hi, nananita, hi, nananita, hey, ya. I'm so excited. I love Adrienne Bailon. She's got a beautiful voice, an amazing dancer. She's the whole package, and I cannot wait to see her in this show. So in the cast, additional to Tam Mutu and Adrienne Bailon, we have Vincent Jamal Hooper, who is playing Rock. He has been on Broadway in The Lion King as Simba. And we have Savvy Jackson as Laurette, and she has been in Bad Cinderella. She was the Cinderella alternate. And then lastly, we have Matthew Risch, who was in the OBC of Legally Blonde, and he'll be playing Alan. So I'm super duper 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 excited about this. Another reason that you should be super duper excited about this is the choreographers. I just know they're going to bring it. We have Jennifer Weber, who was the choreographer for & Juliet. We have Maria Torres, who is the choreographer for Swing. And it is directed and choreographed by Christopher Gattelli, who, when you think about one of the most iconically choreographed musicals on Broadway in the last 15 years, this is the person you want choreographing your show. I want you to think about who that would be. It's Newsies. He's the choreographer for Newsies. So this is going to be so, so good. I can't wait. I need to see it. Performances begin March 29th. Opening night is April 6th. And it will be playing through April 27th. I'm sat, you guys. I'm totally sat. Okay, our last and final news story is some news that we all already assumed. And now it's just being confirmed. Hadestown is getting a pro shot when they are bringing the original Broadway cast over to the West End. Yes, it's true for my Hadestown girlies out there, and I know y'all come in droves. This is probably the answer to all of y'all's prayers. How many of us would pay an exorbitant amount of money for our favorite musicals, original Broadway cast, to get back together and film a pro shot? I can't even express to you how much I would pay for that for Moulin Rouge, for Paradise Square. I don't want to say other things because I don't know if they have a pro shot, but I'm pretty sure Rent never got a pro shot, and Wicked. So for all my Hadestown girls, this is likely the answer to your dreams. I am so happy for you that this is happening, although we don't know where that pro shot is going to be. I'm sure it's going to be in some archives. There's a pro shot library, I want to say at Lincoln Center, that has all of them. I'm sure it's going to go there, but likely this is going to be put on PBS, ABC, who knows? It'll be put somewhere on TV, I would assume, because Hadestown is that successful. Also, this feels, oh gosh, okay, I was just like being so happy and nice to my Hadestown girls, but I got to be honest, this feels like closing the chapter on Hadestown. They're going to say, here's your pro shot, and maybe they'll close on Broadway. Oh, I'm sorry, but it does feel like a perfect way to end, because now they're giving you the gift that you can have forever. Can't come see it on Broadway anymore, but here you go. For the rest of all time, you can view the pro shot. So that's really, really nice. Like, this is a gift. This is such a gift. So they're going to be recording it on February 28th, evening performances, and the matinee and evening performances on March 1st. So if you want to get tickets, they say there's still some available. And we're having practically the entire lead OBC come back. Reeve Carney as Orpheus, Andre DeShields as Hermes, Amber Gray as Persephone, Eva Noblezada, of course, as Eurydice, and Patrick Page as Hades. And also, that's the good thing about having a show when the ages don't really matter. It's that they can come back, 5 years later, and reprise their roles. And nobody's going to bat an eye out off of it because it doesn't matter. It's great. Like, it doesn't matter their age. It always works. That's cool, right? Like, if all the Outsider boys came back in 5 years to record a pro shot, they would all look too old. Sorry, but it's true. Anyways, very, very, very exciting for my Hadestown girlies out there. I would watch this for sure. Because that's the thing. Personally, I don't feel the need to pay a lot to go see Hadestown again when I didn't absolutely rave about my experience the first time. But I would certainly watch the movie to get a better feel and maybe see things I couldn't see when I was in the very, 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 very back of that theater. So very excited for my Hadestown girlies. Well, that wraps up this episode of From the Mezzanine. I have an announcement kind of sort of thing. Well, I just want to let y'all know. I have a new website. Y'all should all check it out. You can find my podcasts on there. You can find my Broadway vlogs and videos on there. You can find all of my interviews on there. You can contact me if you need to contact me. I have a contact form. I just feel so professional. It's crazy. So the website is www.fromthemezzanine.com. So go check it out, please. I spent a lot of time on it and she's so cute and flirty and fresh and so FTM coded. I hope that y'all love the website. And if you want to join the Patreon, it is $5.99 a month. When you join the Patreon, you get access to my catalog of Meet Me at the Stage Doors. Previously, I've also done FTM story times where I tell y'all some tea about things that happen behind the scenes From the Mezzanine. I did a story time on my move to New York City. And I am recording a Meet Me at the Stage Door right after this episode. And lately what I've been doing on there is 1, I have a segment called Broadway Boyfriend of the Week. 2, I have my segment, What Song You Should Add to Your Broadway Playlist This Week, like we talked about. And 3, I've been talking about what news stories got the boot, but I still want to talk about with my Broadway besties. So just basically what is happening in the zeitgeist. And there's some tea happening online that I did not discuss in the app that I want to talk about on the Meet Me at the Stage Door. So go and join me over at the Patreon. Become a Broadway bestie officially for $5.99 a month. It's www.patreon.com/fromthemezzanine. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at From the Mezzanine Broadway. And that's that, you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye!